Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Olivier Leuillot. I'm the General Manager of GSK Life Sciences Bioprocess Division. Very happy to be with you today and answer some of your questions. I'm here with my colleague Justin. Justin?
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Justin Meehan. I'm the site leader for our cell culture manufacturing operations in Logan, Utah. Pleasure to be with you today.
So we are in a very fast-moving environment, and I just would pick up four main market trends that we are really experiencing right now. The first one is there is a huge molecular diversity coming from our customers. Probably 5-10 years ago, there was the first generation of biopharmaceutical, and then came the monoclonal antibody that obviously everybody enjoyed a lot with the same platform and with big volume and so on. Now, today, in most of our customers' pipelines, there is a huge molecular diversity, including cell and gene therapy product, mRNA, oligonucleotides, and so on. The second big market trend is that people are now really looking for true productivity. And again, the biopharma industry has been enjoying a lot of nice years of growth and so on. Now with the emerging biosimilar sales, our customers, including GSK, they need to make sure that they've got the best cost of goods and they are capable of being competitive on the market with their own products. And this is directly linked to the life cycle management, which is probably my third point here, which is you need now very early in the game to really get prepared for what will come once your product is about to turn biosimilar. And are you going to go for a bio-better? Are you going to go for a totally new molecule? We need to help you obviously managing your life cycle in a much more efficient and proactive way. And finally, and probably last but not least, really is the digitalization of the processes that we're experiencing today. I mean, it starts with process automation, but beyond process automation, it keeps on going with all of these digital twin and then potentially understanding better what impact the process, yield, and so on with the right digital software that will definitely support our customers better in the future.
Okay, great, Olivier. Based on those market trends, what do you see as the changes to your organization that are going to be required specifically around innovation?
So in this very fast-moving environment, more than ever, we need very agile and global teams. So agile from the point of view, we need people who are capable to switch from one type of molecule to another one in the lab very easily, but also understand what are the specific requirements of each different type of molecule. Because indeed, the cell culture media you will need for a viral vector is going to be different from a cell culture media you need for a monoclonal antibody, and probably very much similar case on the resin side. So we need people who are capable of developing the right products for the right application. And then talking about productivity, obviously, you need also to be capable of developing the products that are capable of tackling, for example, much higher cell density. And that's a perfect example on bioreactors, where with the first generation of bioreactors were capable of tackling yield in the range of 2 to 3 grams per liter, maybe up to 5 grams, where today most companies are developing processes that can reach up to 10 to 15 grams per liter, if not even more. So you need new products. You need to make sure you're constantly supporting your customers with the right tools. And then on the digital side, it's exactly the same. You need to be ahead of what people are even thinking they can get access to, because with artificial intelligence, there is more or less no limitation to what you can achieve by the time you're capable of capturing the data, and then obviously later on putting the data in a cloud environment, analyzing the data so that you can become more intelligent during your operations.
Olivier, kind of switching topics now, from what you told us about market trends as well as the changes to your organization, what does that mean to the selling point of GE and how it's going to affect GSK?
So I think what has been really driving the growth of the business we've been running now for several years is the fact we've been really an innovative company. And I will just pick up a few examples here of recent product we launched we are about to launch that are real breakthrough for the industry and that our people love. We've been obviously in the resin business now for more than 20 years, launching the first purification resin and having in the meantime something like 4 or 5 different generations of products. Every time we're launching a new resin, we're bringing something like 20, 25, up to 30% more productivity to our customers. That's the example of the last resin we launched a year ago, Prisma A, which is something like 30% more productive than the previous version. But we are never stopping here. I mean, we are now working on a totally new generation of purification products that are fiber-based and that are being called Fibro technology, which we will launch for the first time end of this year, that are completely different ways of purifying monoclonal antibodies and other molecule like viral vector as well. So innovation has always been a key motor for us to be different and then better than our competitors. If I talk about digital, I'd like to just pick up 2 examples. Everybody hears about digital twin. We have already developed a software that enable us and enable our customers, obviously later on, to figuring out probably as early as 24, 36 hours after they started their fermentation process to figuring out whether it's going to be a really good batch or not. And this is a big improvement versus having to wait 2 full weeks and then realizing, oh, my yield is unfortunately 10% lower than I thought it would be. So the digital twin software is one good example on the digital side. Another software that we're working on, and we announced a collaboration with Amgen a few weeks ago, is on understanding better how the raw material we're using in manufacturing of our cell culture media products can potentially influence the yield of our customers when they manufacture their own biopharmaceutical drug. So it's all about, first of all, collecting data from the batches we manufacture ourselves in Logan for our cell culture media products, but also connecting the dots with the batches our customers are manufacturing for their own biopharmaceutical drug, and understanding after we've collected this data and put the right artificial intelligence motor behind what does influence the yield of our customers. And it can be as much as a small metallic trace in a cell culture media business that could impact 10% of the yield of our customers. Another way we are trying to be very unique as well is by offering new business models. I mean, I am personally a strong believer that the model where a supplier is supplying a customers with certain number of liters of cell culture media or resin or numbers of bags and so on will not continue for a long period of time. I think we have to become the extension of our customers, and extension means being capable of moving to new business model where instead of charging our customers with a price per liter of resin or a number of bags, we are probably going to be incentivized and being charged on the output our customers have in their own plant. So, for example, once GSK manufactures its new vaccine for whatever application, that we would get an invoice paid on the output that GSK has on that particular vaccine manufacturing batch. So that's definitely something we are pushing and ahead on that side. Last but not least, we are a strong believer as well that services like CDMO services combined with the right product offering is going to be a big differentiator as well, because we want to offer optionality to our customers. We want customers like GSK to be capable of deciding, I want to buy product from GE or I want to buy services from GE. And then services meaning maybe by buying manufacturing batches for a certain period of time until the product has reached a certain status that pushes GSK to invest in its own manufacturing plants.
Kind of continuing in this category, Olivier, to what extent is GSK leveraging these selling points that you're describing?
So I think GSK and GE know each other for a long period of time and have worked on a lot of very important projects that enable us to really exchange and share a lot of ideas and move the needle together pretty well. And it can always be better, obviously. And I mean, I think it's really from both sides. From our side, it's really to make sure that we involve GSK earlier into some of these projects we're working on. And I mean, I mentioned some of the innovation projects, but same on the digital side. side. And I think we, as a supplier of GSK, we have to really make sure we involve you earlier so that you can figure out, yes, that is a project for us. Yes, that is something that is crunchy enough that we really want to put resources on. And then on the GSK side, maybe it's sometime indeed to be a little bit less shy and maybe indeed just open the books sometime a little bit more. And I'll come back to that later on, because I'm a strong believer transparency is going to become of essence to make sure collaboration are working better every day.
Perfect. Kind of next question would be in the vein of GE's performance. How do you self-assess GE on its delivery and services to GSK?
So another really great question. I mean, we talked about 4 different areas where we are potentially supplying GSK today. So quickly back, cell culture media, bioreactors, single-use consumable, and purification resins. These different product lines are in totally different state of maturity. And I start with resin again, which is obviously the business we've been in for the longest period of time and for which we've been really well recognized in the entire industry as having a real big security of supply, of having also the innovation that has been required to constantly improve performance to our customers, and last but not least, having an incredible track record being registered in a huge amount of molecules around the world. So for this type of business, we are at what I would call really the highest level of maturity, and I would think and hope that GSK is really happy about the services we provide. On the 3 others, cell culture media and single-use bioreactors and consumable, these are businesses that GE have invested into about 5 years ago, so much more recently, and for which we think we have also a very strong offering. I mean, bioreactors, we are probably among the top 2 suppliers. On cell culture media, we are among the top 3 suppliers, and so on. So we are strong from a volume point of view, but we still have to learn because the market is also learning himself. So from that point of view, exchanging back to my transparency topic earlier, by making sure we talk to each other more, we learn from each other about where we can do better. There are several ways we can improve together. And I'd just like to pick up one specific example about single-use bags, even though we are not yet working together with GSK. It's a business, it's a market that has just been booming during the last 1 or 2 years. The entire industry is right now suffering from some type of product shortages because nobody kind of foresaw the growth that was coming around the corner. And this is a typical example where customer supplier have to work hand in hand to think about what forecasts are coming around the corner and make sure that the supply chain are really very solid, so that there is no supply shortages in the future. And it all starts with, again, us talking to each other and learning from each other. And most supplier of the pharma industry, and whether our company and all of our competitors, are typically not operating in a GMP environment, apart from cell culture media, where we are running in a GMP environment. But for single-use bioreactors, single-use bags, and to a certain extent for resin as well, we are not running in a GMP environment. Dealing with company for whom GMP environment is a daily concern, is a daily priority, makes me particularly feel like we have to upgrade our standard to what I kind of call GMP-like, if not in the future GMP, so that our customers feel like we've got the right processes in place to be really the top quality, top reliable suppliers of our customers. And on that side, I think it's something that all of us have to achieve together by being, again, very transparent and sharing best practices.
Continuing with this, what do you do personally to keep your organization performing at those optimal levels that you described?
I'm a strong believer of diversity and globality, and I'll just explain that in a minute. But diversity for me means you need to have really a lot of different people with different skills, and I'm not talking about scientific skills only. I'm talking also about the soft skills, the behavioral skills, and I will link it directly to the fact we're in a very global environment. I mean, we are today dealing with a China market that is growing so fast that there is no way we're going to be successful in China if we don't have a strong local team capable of understanding the customer needs specifically in China. And I just pick up China because I think we've been particularly successful on that market thanks to the fact we had a lot of people on the ground a long time ago, but also we've made all the connections needed to make sure we can help our customers being successful on that market as well. So diversity and having a team that is as global as possible. And then the second really stuff that comes to my mind is you need to have a culture of winning, a culture of always improving. And if there is one thing we are always making sure we are not falling into is to just be satisfied with what we are achieving, because we can always do better. And there is one word that we are really banning, which is complacency, because the day you become complacent, there is no way you're going to be able to support your customers better. And that's true from an innovation point of view, but that's also true from a quality and operational excellence point of view. I mean, you can always do better. You can always challenge your teams to take advantage of what the neighbor has done. And back to the global sites, I mean, I love to have sites all around the globe, because some of our sites in Asia might be running differently than some of our sites in Europe and US for one or two specific areas that we can learn from, and vice versa. So I think never be complacent, always try to improve.
Final question, Olivier. What are the top 3 fundamental changes that, in your opinion, GSK would need to implement to really accelerate and improve value delivery?
So that's obviously a great question. And again, I think we, GE, also need to do a lot of stuff to improve that. But on your side, I will again come back to the transparency topic. And transparency for me is linked to trust. We have to put you, GSK, in a position where you trust us, and you trust us so much that you can start to consider opening your books much more than you are capable or willing to do today, because information is flowing quite easily today, and people who are going to be the most successful from our point of view are people who are accepting that fact that information is flowing. And if you tackle that flow of information well, and obviously exchange it with a limited amount of people, meaning maybe your top 2 or 3 suppliers, then I think, and by the way, it's both ways, meaning we as a supplier need also to exchange information very transparently, then I think we can learn from each other a lot and understand where the pain points are, where the bottleneck can be, and how can we again improve from a productivity, quality, ultimately cost point of view. The second topic, which is kind of linked to that as well, is I would really recommend you to leverage your supplier even more than you do today. I mean, you've got tons of expertise on some area where we don't have any expertise at all. But we've got a few areas where we have a lot of expertise ourselves, probably a bit more than you might have. And I'm talking about the products area, obviously. And then maybe to a certain extent as well, some of the services like automation, digitalization, and maybe to a certain extent, process development on a case-by-case basis. Just leverage us. I mean, one area where I think we've been very successful is with the enterprise solution offering, where we've really been in a position to tackle full manufacturing processes for customers. And we have now something like 65 Flex Factory 4Q bios installed around the world. And this is happening when customers really leverage our capabilities and kind of trust us to be capable of delivering something that's going to be reaching a particular stringent target from a cost or from a productivity point of view. Last but not least, and I know this is always a difficult topic when we talk with the pharmaceutical industry, is challenge the status quo. I mean, we all obviously understand very well that the pharma industry is so regulated that there are many things that are difficult to change, that are very difficult to challenge and so on. I'm personally thinking that this industry will go through a lot of changes in the next 5 to 10 years because of the competition we talked about earlier from biosimilars, but also because of the digitalization and because of this huge diversity of molecules. And this will require pharmaceutical companies to consider changing their business model. And back to us being willing to do that with you, GSK. I mean, yes, let's talk about how can we work differently than we've been working together during the last 20 years, and let's try to move that to a totally different relationship in the future.
Hey, Olivier, thanks for taking a few minutes of your time today to answer some of these questions, connect us with GSK. Any final words on your point?
Well, I think it's going to be a very simple final word. I mean, we love working with GSK. I mean, I think we've had a lot of success story together. I feel like we've got plenty more opportunities to go to the next level together, and we are extremely motivated on our side. You can be absolutely sure that we've got all of our management team aligned, as well as our team behind to just make it happening with you. So thanks for that opportunity to share a few ideas with you today, and I would be very happy, delighted to talk to you live at whatever occasion you want. Thank you very much.